Sausha Durkan here from Hurrdat Sports, live at the Husker Pipeline event at Hail Varsity Club. Obviously standing next to one of the OG Pipeline members, Rob Zatechka. Talk to me about how this event came together and working with the Pipeline Jerky guys, how that whole thing came to be.
Well, so they kind of started getting their product out there, and it was a great idea in the sense that you're going to put a product out there with the idea that you're going to take a portion of the profits and kind of sort of integrate it into that NIL world and start giving back to the university, giving back to the athletes that are down there, in an effort to help out the athletes, to help out the athletic department in that regard when it comes to recruiting guys. And the fact that they did it with the focus of recruiting offensive linemen and bringing offensive linemen to Nebraska, that was something that really kind of struck a chord with us. And so I know Aaron Graham, Joe Wilkes, they kind of started talking about this a little bit, started talking with Brendan about it, with the idea that, hey, you know what, we're the original Pipeline. Why don't we jump on board with these guys? They had this amazing idea with the jerky, which, by the way, it's pretty damn good. But it was one of those, well, you know, we can do that too. Let's partner up with these guys and try and do something along those same lines to try and give back to the university. And it's something we had talked about in the past, but we never really saw kind of a great vehicle for it until the whole NIL world popped up, and then you saw what Pipeline Jerky did, and it was such a great idea that they had in terms of being able to come up with a product, put it out there, have it focused on it, sort of a position-specific NIL model, and that was something that just really kind of struck a chord with us, and we thought, you know what, this is a great idea, so we ended up forming our own LLC to put together as the original Pipeline LLC, because we're the original Pipeline, and those guys had such an amazing product, and so we had talked to them about that, forming the LLC and partnering up with them to do events like this and to kind of get the word out there about both of their product. And then at some point, we're hoping to be able to kind of build upon that ourselves. And we're not sure exactly the direction we're going to go with it, but at some point, putting some type of product line out there with the idea that you're going to raise some money, that we're going to raise some money, and direct that back to the offensive line through NIL.
Yeah. And with NIL, I mean, that's obviously fairly recent. I mean, I think the 2-year anniversary either just passed. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's coming up here this summer, I think, in terms of, I think it's July that it officially starts. It'll be 2 years. So this is still such an incredibly new model. And it's one of those things, some people love it, some people hate it. But the fact of the matter is, it's real, it's here, and it's something that, you know, in terms of the world of college athletics today, I get that a lot, and I'm okay with that, especially from Zach. But that's one of those things that this is kind of the world of college athletics today, and you can love it, you can hate it. But our thought process was, let's work within that model to do what we can to maybe try and help out the university, help out the offensive line that's down there, and let's raise some money to help those kids out.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look back at that and think and reflect on that '94 season, that offensive line, and then how it has impacted Nebraska football since then, what are your favorite memories from that, or the thing that you love to talk about the most about that offensive line?
The guys. I mean, that was a great group of guys. And you look at the five of us who I think everybody kind of considered the starters, but at the same time, you had guys like Brady Caskey, Brian Pruitt, Bill Humphrey. I mean, it was an amazing group of athletes that were down there at that time. We had some of the greatest skill position guys. I hate saying skill position as a lineman, but we had some great backs, receivers, quarterbacks. I mean, you look at Brooke and Tommy, Abdul Muhammad, Matt Gilman, Matt Shaw at tight end. You look at the guys at running back like Damon and Clint and Lawrence, Corey Schlesinger, the Makovica brothers. It was an amazing group of athletes to play with. And that's the thing that I always think back, because at the same time, too, those are just an amazing group of people. And when I think back, favorite part of it is just those guys, still getting together with those guys, hanging out with them, talking with them. All of us still get together. I still talk to Damon and Clinton all the time. It's great having those connections to the people that were involved with and tied to that era.
Have you had the opportunity to meet with Matt Rule yet?
I have not. Now, I've spoken with Coach Raiola a number of times, and it's an offensive line thing. And I know Coach Rule's got some really strong offensive line ties, which I always appreciate. I love a coach who knows line play, and Coach Rule does. And so talked with Coach Raiola quite a bit here over the last year. I love what he's doing. You've got a guy who's got huge buy-in to this program and has ever since he stepped foot on the campus. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys look like up front.
Thank you so much for your time, and I thank you for being here tonight. This should be super exciting. We sold the venue out.
It's going to be a fun night. I was going to say, Hail Varsity is a great location, and having an event like this here is awesome. It's going to be a fun night, really is.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Sausha, you bet. It's good seeing you guys.